This is a breaking financial update, and you'll want to pay close attention. A major shift is unfolding in the global currency landscape, and for those closely watching the Iraqi dinar, especially investors, redeemers, and market analysts, today's development could be a game changer. After months of quiet tension and subtle signals from regional financial bodies and international banking systems, new redemption rules for the Iraqi dinar, or IQD, have been introduced, sparking waves of speculation and recalibration across both institutional and private sectors. What's creating the stir today is not just the nature of these new rules, but the stark contrast they highlight between the contract rate and the street rate, a contrast that is now being enforced and managed with a level of precision we haven't seen before. For months, whispers of impending changes have circulated within elite currency exchange circles. Many anticipated something was brewing behind closed doors, but few expected the pace at which these redemption protocols would begin to roll out. The shift isn't merely technical, it's strategic, geopolitical, and highly consequential for currency holders, particularly those holding dinar in physical form or within structured investment platforms. The spotlight right now is on the key distinction: contract rate versus street rate. These are not just two values on a chart. They represent fundamentally different redemption paths, with very different outcomes for holders. The contract rate, often discussed in private banking groups and high-level financial meetings, has long been a subject of speculation. This rate is typically negotiated under specific conditions, involving non-disclosure agreements, eligibility criteria, and often a verification process that ties into asset-backed protocols or sovereign agreements. It's a rate that exists primarily within prearranged, high-value exchanges, sometimes referred to as privates, and can reflect a valuation significantly above the public or street market rate. And now, according to the new guidelines, access to this rate is no longer theoretical. It's being systematically clarified. Redemption centers have reportedly received updated instructions outlining the procedural flow, document verification standards, and tier-based clearance required for processing redemptions at the contract level. In stark contrast, the street rate remains the accessible rate offered at general currency exchange outlets, local Iraqi financial institutions, and publicly listed forex markets. This rate, at the time of this report, remains substantially lower than the whispered contract valuation, and for the average dinar holder, it may represent the only available path if certain eligibility benchmarks aren't met. But here's the twist. These new rules are not just defining rates, they are actively reshaping who qualifies for what and under what conditions. There are now reports of screening procedures being formalized, and a framework is being implemented that essentially splits the IQD redemption process into two distinct lanes: public and private. And the gatekeeping is real. For those hoping to access the contract rate, this is where the scrutiny intensifies. It's no longer enough to simply hold large denominations or show long-term investment interest. The new framework reportedly involves financial background checks, source of funds declarations, and proof of prior registration within qualified banking programs or special economic zones. In short, the doors to the contract rate hall are narrowing, and only a select few may pass through them. In this context, many individual holders now face a critical decision: to wait and attempt to qualify for a contract-level redemption, or to proceed with the current street rate under the updated public exchange system. There are emerging signs that certain regional banking entities, particularly those tied to U.S. or European compliance jurisdictions, are preparing to temporarily suspend walk-in redemptions of dinar until further procedural confirmations are received. This suggests that the current moment is not only one of transition but also one of control, designed to manage volume, mitigate risk, and ensure that high-level exchanges are not prematurely triggered ahead of wider financial disclosures or macroeconomic alignment. Several sources indicate that this could tie into ongoing monetary reforms in Iraq, possibly connected to broader digital integration or IMF-related oversight restructuring, though these elements remain unconfirmed. What does this mean in practical terms? For most IQD holders, the choice is between a publicly listed rate that offers limited upside but immediate liquidity and a high-value contract pathway that could yield significantly more, but only if one meets the newly defined and strictly enforced criteria. This isn't speculation anymore. The rules are being distributed. The systems are being updated. And more importantly, timing is now everything. One particularly concerning aspect of the new redemption guidance is the reported expiration window for certain contract-level opportunities. It's being said that private contract appointments, once offered, will be time-limited. This means that once a qualified individual is contacted or cleared for exchange at the contract rate, they may have a narrow window, perhaps only a few days, to execute the transaction before the offer lapses. This introduces not only urgency, but a degree of stress testing for even the most prepared holders. The environment is designed to separate informed actors from speculative hopefuls. It's also worth noting that third-party intermediaries, those who have built reputations acting as brokers, facilitators, or so-called intel providers in the dinar space, are reportedly being excluded from official channels. Redemption centers are being instructed to deal directly with verified currency holders only. This move appears aimed at reducing fraudulent attempts, illegal currency sourcing, and undue market manipulation that has plagued the dinar community for years. The official stance now is clear. This is a direct-to-holder process, not a networked arbitrage game. As for the street rate, it remains under careful observation. There are unconfirmed indications that gradual upward adjustments are being considered, tied to domestic monetary tightening in Iraq and improved fiscal metrics from oil revenue. However, there is no immediate confirmation that a revaluation, or RV, is underway in the public market. The dinar remains a managed currency, and its international reinstatement is still subject to complex political and economic calibration. Until Iraq moves forward with full Article 8 compliance under the IMF or introduces a floating mechanism aligned with regional markets, the street rate will likely remain suppressed in relation to the projected contract valuations. Still, the very existence of a bifurcated rate system points to an undeniable reality. The groundwork for a large-scale currency event is being laid in real time. Institutional players have already begun adjusting their foreign reserve baskets. Cross-border clearing systems in the Middle East and Asia are reportedly incorporating contingency logic for a possible IQD shift. And backroom coordination between select global banks and redemption facility managers has moved beyond theoretical planning and into execution protocols. This isn't a drill. For the first time in over a decade, the IQD landscape is seeing coordinated, structural movement that aligns with long-standing rumors, but now with tangible policy teeth. The pressure now falls squarely on holders to prepare wisely. That means documentation in order, source of funds clean, travel ready if necessary, and above all, emotionally prepared for either outcome, whether you're among the few who qualify for the enhanced contract rate or you join the broader population navigating the public street exchange. There are already reports of attempted redemptions being turned away due to incomplete paperwork, unverified serial numbers on dinar notes, or improper handling of tax disclosure requirements. This is not a game for the unprepared. The current redemption climate is being shaped by law firms, compliance teams, and international monetary authorities, not the blogs and forums that have long dominated the conversation. So, where do we go from here? The coming days and weeks will likely bring even more clarity. But for now, the message is loud and clear. New redemption rules for the IQD are real, and the distinction between contract and street rate is no longer hypothetical. It is being operationalized. For holders, this means it's no longer enough to simply have dinar. The value lies in how, when, and through what channels you exchange it. The geopolitical implications of this change are enormous. If these rules continue to scale and gain traction across international financial systems, they could serve as a blueprint for future managed currency realignments. This includes other asset-backed or undervalued currencies that have long been discussed in global reset theories. Whether or not those scenarios play out, the IQD case now offers a live stress test of how to implement multi-tiered currency redemption within a fragile but reforming economic environment. It's also important to underscore that while today's information is grounded in confirmed procedural updates, the broader context remains fluid. Geopolitical shifts, IMF interventions, or unexpected economic crises could alter the course at any moment. Thus, while many are moving swiftly to align themselves with the new guidelines, a note of caution must remain. Nothing is final until it's final. This has been a critical update on the evolving IQD redemption landscape. We will continue to monitor and report on all developments with accuracy and urgency. For now, prepare wisely, act with caution, and stay alert, because what's unfolding is nothing short of a historic moment in global currency evolution.